There's a moment I see come up again and again. Typically, it's not in a time of panic, and frankly, the person in question usually isn't in trouble. They're just asking a simple question like, which account should this distribution come from? And it's in that moment that it becomes crystal clear whether there's a plan or frankly just a bunch of accounts. And that difference matters more than most people realize. Hey, I'm Steve Martin, Managing Partner and Wealth Strategist here at SRQ Wealth, where we help families find their freedom by simplifying their financial lives. When people say they have a financial plan, usually you're talking about what they can see. Investment accounts, statements, balances on their screen. Those things are important, but on their own, they don't tell how decisions should be made, especially when life changes. Most uncertainty doesn't come from not having money. It comes from not knowing how your choices connect. A real financial plan doesn't show up on a statement. It shows up in decision moments. It shows up when your income changes or when your retirement starts to feel real, when it gets closer. And it definitely shows up when your tax bill is a little different than you expected. Of course, it shows up when markets feel uncertain and when your family priorities have shifted. Without a plan, those decisions tend to feel very reactive. People, and I would say often their advisors, rely simply on headlines or rule of thumb or their gut instinct. Did you know that there's approximately 500,000 people in the United States that call themselves financial advisors or representatives of some sort? About 100,000 of those are certified financial planners, such as us here at SRQ Wealth. What I find is a lot of times advisors really don't take the time to do real planning. Could it be that the average advisor at the average large firm has about 150 to 300 clients each? We feel our sweet spot's right around 50 to maybe as much as 100. This is where real conversations happen. And this is where we get a plan. With a plan, decisions tend to feel more grounded. Not because the future is predictable, but because there's context. At its core, a complete financial plan, it connects four things. First, it connects what your money is meant for. Is this for your lifestyle, flexibility, sharing your priorities, maybe your family's values? And second, it helps with how decisions interact with other things, such as your investments, they affect your cash flow. The cash flow affects taxes. Taxes can affect how long your money lasts. And then ultimately there's estate decisions, and those affect people. They aren't just numbers. Third, a plan addresses how your risk is handled. And I'm not just talking about market risks. There's timing risks, tax risks, longevity risks. Heck, I could go on. There's all different kinds of risks, and we have to consider them all. And fourth, the plan adapts because life doesn't stand still, and neither should your plan. When these decisions aren't connected, it's easy to make decisions that sound reasonable, but actually don't work well together. A financial plan, it isn't about predicting incomes. And it's not about controlling markets. I wish it was. And it's not about having all the answers. It's about creating a framework so your decisions aren't made in isolation, especially during moments of chaos. Hey, if you're listening to this and thinking, wow, that makes sense, but how does this actually look? Well, we've created a short downloadable guide called The Financial Empowerment at Your Fingertips. It walks through the key pieces of a financial plan in a clear, practical way. You'll find the link below in the descriptions if you'd like to take a closer look. Now, if you've ever felt confident about the individual pieces of your finances, but unsure about how they all fit together, frankly, that's a common experience. We see it all the time. Stepping back to see the full picture, it doesn't require urgency or action. Sometimes it simply brings clarity, and clarity brings you one step closer to financial freedom. I'm Steve Martin, and you've just taken your next step on your journey to true wealth. For more great content like this, just click the subscribe button below so you don't miss the next video. You know, the most successful people have always been good planners, or they hired one. Remember, it wasn't even raining when Noah built the ark. Hey, we'll see you next time. God bless.